Hey guys, I wanna show you what I just bought and got an incredible deal on. One sec. Yes, that behind me is a brand new 2021 Jeep Wrangler. See, I help people buy cars for a living on YouTube, and this Jeep was my fiance's dream rig, and one she probably never expected to own because they are just so expensive fully loaded. But I literally just surprised her with it, which is hands down one of the coolest experiences of my life. But what was one of the best parts was that I never stepped foot inside of a dealership. And when you go to get the best deal on your next car, truck, or SUV, you shouldn't either. And that's because, well, there's the internet. And you should do all of the negotiation from the comfort of your very own home. And I'm gonna show you the exact process that I use to get the ideal deal on this Jeep. But it could be used for any new or used vehicle. And if you're new here, I'm Brad Danger. Please subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and buckle up, let's go. Now, I'm gonna be using the Jeep Wrangler as the example for these 8 tips, but this applies to any new or used vehicle. And once you've watched till the end of this video, you're gonna be looking at your next ideal car ownership a little bit differently. And the first thing is that you gotta know that dealers are willing to negotiate and work with you on the price with inventory that they actually have on the lot. So if you're looking to special order some super custom Jeep, which by the way, is a ton of fun to do on their website because they have like 100 different flavors of Jeep. But anytime that you're custom ordering, the dealer doesn't really have to work with you that much on the price. And the way I like to do it is go to autotempest.com if I'm looking for a used vehicle. And in this case, I'm looking for a Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. Put in your zip, do within any miles, click search. And I'm looking for 2020 and newer vehicles because I want one with the Eco Diesel. And then I will sort by nearest to me so that then I'm able to hit up these dealerships and actually go lay eyes on the vehicle if I'm interested. And here are a couple of great examples already. Now, if I'm looking for a brand new vehicle, I'll just go to Google, type in, and I'll get a couple of local dealerships that then I can click into their website and start looking for a Jeep that way. So we'll go to Jeep Wrangler, we'll look for that Eco Diesel, and now we found the 7 results with the Eco Diesel. Ooh, that one's nice. Dang, I really like that. So yeah, anytime that you can find an already built vehicle on a lot that's local, you're gonna have the best chance of setting yourself up for buying it at a very aggressive price. Which gets us into the second tip, which is every dealership now has an internet department, and always go through them. What a dealership wants you to do is come in, get emotionally attached to the vehicle, and then they're gonna wear you down with a bunch of sales tactics to get you to pay way too much and sign up for services that you don't even need for that vehicle. But if you're doing everything online, you can respond to them at your own convenience, which really helps take emotion out of the purchase. And emotion, or your heart, is what always makes people pay way too much for a vehicle. So as you can see, for this Eco Diesel Jeep, you don't have to call the 844 number. Rather, you can just ask a question right here, and you can even go down here and look at the window sticker. You can schedule a test drive by simply just clicking on this and filling out this form. Everything and anything that you need to do, you can do from your computer at home without actually talking to anybody on the phone, which is critical on getting the best price because then you don't accidentally say something that you shouldn't or making an irrational decision on price just because you have to have it. Which brings us to the third tip, which is always know what other people are paying for the same type of Wrangler or vehicle in your case. And this is where I've found Facebook groups to be absolutely amazing. Okay, so search Facebook. In this case, it's a JL Wrangler, and I'm a part of the group already. So whatever vehicle you're interested in, you should be a part of that group on Facebook. There's other forums just on the internet as well. So use this little search tool up here and just type in how much pay Jeep or something like that. And real quick, you'll find a post like this one right here. How much did everyone pay for their Rubicon? And it's so awesome to be able to go through and see the specs. So their sticker was 52 and they paid 42. That's $10,000 off sticker. Look to get at least 5 to 6% off invoice. Again, you can just scroll through these and quickly find out how much people paid for their Jeep. And there's one big thing to note. For example, I was looking for an EcoDiesel, and getting an EcoDiesel engine with the automatic is thousands of dollars more than getting one with the 2-liter turbocharged and a manual transmission. So make sure that when you're looking at these prices, that you're comparing apples to apples. Find one that someone bought with an EcoDiesel and see how much they were able to get off MSRP. Sometimes, like the EcoDiesel is in higher demand, so they're less willing to budge than the 2-liter turbo. But by looking at the different forums and understanding what people actually paid for their vehicle will help you negotiate to an aggressive price that you're comfortable paying. Which brings us to our next tip, which is, like I said earlier, make sure you're comparing apples to apples. There are a few different trim models for the Jeep, everything from a Sport all the way to the Rubicon and beyond. And again, like I just said, there's different engine options. Some are more sought after than others, and they all have different prices tied to them. So just because somebody was getting an incredible deal on a base Jeep Wrangler doesn't mean you're gonna get that same deal on a fully loaded Rubicon. So do your homework, understand the differences in every trim level, and you'll set yourself up for success. And the next tip is to play it cool.
Oh, look. Oh, aren't you beautiful? Yeah, you like that, don't you?
Yeah, you never want to let a dealership or anybody selling a vehicle know that you have to have that vehicle.
Oh, leave me alone.
Ooh, a hostile.
I'm browsing. If I have any questions, I'll ask you. Now, shoo, you little parasite, you.
Once they know that you've taken mental ownership of it and you've talked yourself into buying it, you're pretty much at the mercy of what they're willing to negotiate on price. And if they're not willing to budge, well then you're probably just gonna pay what they want.
Shut up and take my money.
And that is how dealerships make all of their money on you. When you've gone through, figured out what other people are paying for a similar make and model, you wanna make an aggressive offering that the dealership will say no to.
We feel $875 is very fair.
But you wiggle us on down to $400 and you got yourselves a deal.
If they say yes first time around, but you are comfortable with that price, be happy. But my goal is always to get the dealership to come back to me with something higher than what I offered. Because if they don't, well then you know that they probably made money on you or they just had to unload that vehicle. But it's usually the latter. So when you're negotiating with an internet salesperson, play it cool, take time to thoroughly review every single email, and don't just impulse respond. Actually take your time and enjoy the negotiation process. They want you to just whip through it, and so the more correspondence back and forth, the better chances that you get a great deal.
He never done this before, but seeing as it's special circumstances and all, he says I can knock $100 off that True Coat.
Because they know once you do leave, they probably will never see you again. So you have to have that exact same mentality when you're on the internet using email to negotiate the price. Which brings us to our next tip. By doing the research, knowing what other people have paid, know what you want to pay, and be happy with paying that amount. As a buyer, you should know exactly what vehicle you want, including all the different options, and then negotiate the out-the-door price. Now, this is something that I cover in depth with the Ideal Car Strategies, which teaches you how to buy any vehicle like a pro. But essentially, the financing component is something that you should get pre-qualified for at your own credit union or local bank if you're planning on financing the vehicle, so that then when you walk in to buy the vehicle, if they meet that out-the-door price, you are a buyer for it today.
I want this.
Oh my God.
It's 300 in there.
The power of saying that you're able to buy that vehicle today will make that salesperson work so much harder for you to get you a deal because they close the deal. And so always get pre-qualified for a loan for the amount so that you know that you'll be able to buy that vehicle and make it happen that day. Now, if the dealership's able to give you better terms for the loan, well then you could end up financing through them. But those are two separate transactions when buying a vehicle. You buy the vehicle for the out-the-door price, and then you do the financing, whether you do it through your own bank or you do it through the dealership. And also, the next tip is understand how dealerships actually make their money. Believe it or not, dealerships don't make a whole lot of money on brand new car sales. They actually make the most of their money by upselling you on different services and just servicing vehicles, as well as the financing. So what does this mean if you're buying a new vehicle? Well, they just look at how many they can sell in a month. That's the tally that they're really worried about.
How many Ferraris you sell this month, though? Freddy, the 80s are over. Are you trying to tell me these things are just walking out of the store?
With used vehicles, there is a lot more margin. So you can expect to get more of a smoking deal on a used vehicle than a brand new one. And the next tip is to time your purchase wisely. Yes, there are certain days of the year and of the month that dealerships are going to be more willing to negotiate. And usually the best time to buy a vehicle is at the end of the month. So the last couple of days of each month, they will be more willing to make something happen. You see, dealerships and salespeople, they all have goals that they need to hit each month. And if they do, the salespeople get bonuses and the dealerships get kickbacks from the manufacturer. So let's say it's the last day of the month, they're 3 sales away from getting a huge manufacturer kickback. You can bet they are going to be willing to wheel and deal.
Let me tell you something. If you were willing to pay cash, I might be able to drop that down to say $7.16 each.
Now, there's no way to tell as a consumer whether or not they're close to their goal, if they've hit their goal. So it's kind of luck of the draw. And if you go in the last day of the month and they're not willing to budge at all, either they think they've priced the vehicle correctly already and they don't need to move on the price, or maybe they've already hit their quota and so they'd actually rather wait until next month to sell you the vehicle. The end of the quarter is also a great time to go buy a vehicle, which also happens to be the end of the month. So if you can time it to do it at the end of the quarter, you might have an even better chance to get an incredible value. And the next tip is just remember that salespeople are humans like you and me. Yes, they're in the business of selling things to people. And one of their most annoying tricks is that they wear people down.
You know something though, Stan? I really think you ought to buy this Buick. I think you ought to buy it today, right now.
Don't fall for that. Stay in the comfort of your own home and work with an internet salesperson, because then you can do it on your terms. And the way I kind of approach it is that I want them to tell me no. They won't accept that price, the first price that I offer them. And with a lot of these dealerships that you're working with, especially with new vehicles, they're doing a quantity play. They're trying to turn as many vehicles per month as they can. So you never want to lowball them so much that they won't even come back to you with an offer. But if they make it so that you have to give them a price, give them a low enough offer that you're pretty confident that they're going to come back with something higher. Like I said, the worst thing that can happen is that they just accept that offer. But at the same time, if it's an offer that you believed was an aggressive price, be happy with it and enjoy your new vehicle.
So, what do you think of your new car? Do you love it?
And so I hope these 8 tips help you have a more enjoyable buying and ownership experience with your new ideal car, truck, or SUV. And the best thing that you can do now is go try them out. Because I can guarantee if you use these and you take your time, you're gonna be able to get any ideal car for an aggressive price. And that is the ideal way. And so if you enjoyed this video and you're new here, my name's Brad Danger. This is Ideal. Please subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Also, if you enjoyed the vid, hit the like button and check out some of our other Ideal content and keep living the ideal lifestyle.